What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. We are going to be talking about everything to do with the lower chest. So I'm going to help you guys to build that nice, lovely lower sweep at the bottom of the pectoral, which we all want. Okay, let's go. So what we want to do here when it comes to building the lower chest is we want to try and target these fibers, okay? So if we're lying down and pressing, we want to be pressing in almost like a downward direction. So the first exercise we're going to go through is the decline dumbbell press. Now, one thing you need to bear in mind when you're doing this exercise, first of all, you need to set the bench to the right level of decline. Now, some benches in some gyms aren't going to go that low, some actually are just flat. So if that's the case and it's only a flat bench which doesn't go any lower, then I recommend you just get a plate of some sort, ideally as thick as possible, and then just put it under. So when it comes to executing this exercise properly, you know, I've gone through these same points again and again and again. Obviously you need to keep your shoulders and scapula retracted, okay? You need to obviously be careful with how you go down, because it's going to feel a little bit awkward. Start off from the top, always. Pull shoulders back, and slowly come down. Stretch the pec, widen the elbows, and drive up, elbows together, and squeeze, okay? If you do have any shoulder issues at all, I'd recommend you probably bring your elbows in ever so slightly. This is, generally speaking, is going to be a little bit safer for you. I have no elbow or shoulder issues, and I find that I'm pretty strict with my range of motion. I don't go too low, so I flare the elbows a little bit. It feels comfortable for me, but you guys do what is comfortable for you, okay? If I had to choose one over the other, decline barbell press or decline dumbbell press, I would probably go for dumbbell press. I just feel it's a little bit more natural and get a great range of motion. It's something which I've always done. Barbell press I've never really done much of in my own training history, but it's still an effective exercise nonetheless. Probably going to be safer for you guys to do with a spotter, training partner, just to assist you when you get it off the rack. And obviously when you're close to reaching failure, you're not going to kill yourself. Now, in my early days of pressing, I've not taken any of this into consideration. I didn't understand the whole mechanics of everything. What happened was, a lot of the time I would do a flat press or a flat, regardless of whether it was dumbbell or barbell, I unintentionally targeted my lower pecs. What I would do is, I would lie down, and whenever I would press, without even thinking, I would arch my back. And what happens is, whenever you arch your back, you're changing the angle of your sternum. So I would have quite an excessive amount of back arching happening. And whenever I press, the lower pec would be on top, and I'd be targeting more of this region, which I guess explains why I've got quite a lot of lower pec development, because in those early years of training, 5 years of training, that was how I was pressing. So the next exercise we're going to go through is a cable fly, obviously from high to low. So we're going to be flying in this direction. So you just want to think about the motion of what the elbow is doing. Okay, so just elbow high, and then elbow down. Same direction in which the fibers are pointing, okay? So when you get yourself set up, this is the position I want you to be in, okay? Just pulling your shoulders back and expanding your chest is going to prevent your shoulders from coming forward. The amount of people that do a fly like that is ridiculous. You're not going to hit your chest in that position, okay? Now, should you go for the narrow cable crossover or the wide cable crossover, both are good. They're just going to apply more tension at different points in the movement, okay? So for example, the narrow cable crossover, okay, this is the only one we have in this gym, so that's fine. Okay, you'll notice with this one, it's going to overload the lengthened position more, okay? So the hardest point of the movement will be near the top. If you had the wider cable crossover, you'll find it's a little bit easier at the top portion of the movement where the pec is lengthened, but it gets a little bit harder at the bottom, okay? So there's more overload in the shortened position, okay? So my advice would be to mix it up between the two if you can. Get yourself into position, and probably take one step forward. I advise you to have a slight bend in the elbow. You don't want to go too far back, you just want to feel it to the point where, okay, my pec is now fully lengthened. You don't want to go all the way back and then stretch your shoulders, because you're then going to initiate the movement by contracting the delts. Okay, you want to minimize delt contraction. Okay, so elbow pointing the same direction as the cable, that's very important. Come down, squeeze the pecs, and then back up, keeping the elbows high. Same direction as the cable, down, squeeze the pecs. Okay. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is a dip. This is going to be a variation where we try and target more of the chest. I find this one's really good. It can be a little bit difficult for people to actually get the lean forward, which is required to do it, but I'll show you an easier way for you to target the chest, right? Okay. So I like quite a wide position when I do this. Get myself into position, and I'm basically just going to try and lean forward as much as possible. Okay, so this variation is going to be for those who find that a little bit difficult. I'm not going to lie, when I'm doing this one, I find that tough to lean forward. You know, if I'm doing it properly, I'm absolutely gassed after 8 to 10 reps, okay? So for you guys who struggle to get that tilt, I recommend you either get a training partner to hold your feet up, or you put a bench behind you, or something, some kind of platform behind you. So you can put it down. So the next exercise I want to go through is the decline dumbbell fly. Mixed reviews on this one, mainly because the risk associated with injury is definitely elevated, okay? So I'll leave this one down to you as to whether you want to try it or not. It is without doubt an effective exercise to do, but only if you do it properly, okay? And only if you're not going too heavy with the weight. From my experience, there's two ways of doing this. I've seen variations where you do the fly, and you keep the arms straight, okay? Bring the dumbbells together. I've seen other variations where you come down, bend the elbows, and bring it back up. I've done both. I feel it on both. I vary it up from time to time. This is the straight arm variation. Get yourself in position. You're gonna come down. I want you to bring the dumbbells towards your head a little bit so you can get an extra stretch on the pec, and then you're just gonna come up, sweep, and squeeze. Down, stretch, up, sweep, squeeze. The next variation, I go heavier with this one, more elbow bend. Honestly, I probably prefer this one, to be honest, but that's just me. And I know my limits. I know when I'm pushing the point where it's hurting my shoulder. This was something I didn't do when I had a shoulder injury last year, but now, touch wood, I'm 100% healthy. I can kind of go for it, if you know what I mean. So elbows come wide, bend, and then up, squeeze, down, stretch, up, squeeze. Obviously with this one, you've got no mirror. You can't really see what's going on. You just have to feel it almost, close your eyes. So I recommend you do film yourself doing this, because something which I experienced in the past was I was bending my elbow more on the right side compared to the left. If you keep doing that over and over again, you'll find that, you know, your right triceps is going to be bigger than your left, and your left pec is going to be bigger than your right, and you run into all sorts of trouble. And when it comes to the actual shape of your chest, you can't change where the muscle fibers lie, okay? It's predetermined. That is where they lie within your body. All you can do is make them bigger and smaller, okay? So say for example, someone, if you've got like a square chest, you know, you can't do loads of decline presses and flies to try and fill in that gap, okay? That's just where your muscles originate and insert at. You can't do much about that. You need to understand that the majority of the fibers lie within this region, the mid and lower section, okay? So realistically, particularly if you're the type of person with a weak chest, the majority of your exercise selection should be focusing on these areas, so a lot of flat and decline pressing. You don't want all of your chest routines to consist of upper chest training, because, you know, there's a limited set of upper pec fibers here. If you do have a weak chest, I recommend you hit it twice per week, right? At least 3 exercises in a session, do that twice per week. And you don't have to do anything too fancy. You see people on Instagram and YouTube doing like the craziest exercise. You don't have to do a bent over, one arm, cable crossover to try and hit your chest. Just pick a pressing exercise, pick one fly exercise, and then maybe another pressing exercise. Get very good at doing those 3 to 4 exercises, and you will find you will have a decent chest coming along. I've also found that there are some good machines in certain gyms which really do hit the lower pecs. So you find some of the machines where you're just leaning back, even some of the flat pressing machines, I feel a really good contraction on the lower pecs. So again, you know, it's something which you need to play around with. Not all machines are suited for everyone, okay? So key things I want you to take from this video: exercise selection. Pick your exercises wisely, pick the ones which you feel are going to be most effective for you, and execution. You need to master the execution. It doesn't matter if you train chest 3 times per week. If your form is absolutely horrendous, you're just not going to grow the chest that you want to see, okay? So thanks for watching, guys. All my training programs are available on my website, www.mikepherson.co.uk. See you guys soon.